Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the US Bank Business Leverage Credit Card. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its drawbacks. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether or not this credit card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main features of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the US Bank Business Leverage Credit Card. First off, we're going to be talking about cash back and how you can earn it with this card. So starting out, you will be receiving 5% cash back on prepaid travel when booked directly in the Travel Rewards Center on prepaid hotels as well as car rentals. Then you'll be earning 2% cash back in the top two categories where you spend the most on each month automatically. And then finally, on all other transactions in all other categories, you will be earning 1% cash back. Now, as far as the 2% cashback categories that you can automatically earn on them in your top two spending categories automatically, these are going to include advertising firms, airlines, apparel and accessory stores, automotive dealers, cable, satellite TV and radio providers, commercial and home furniture stores, and much more. And on this list, there's actually 40 plus total, which you can look at the full list online right on their website. Now, as far as the spend bonus goes with this credit card, you can actually earn a spend bonus of $750 as long as you're able to spend at least $7,500 within the first 120 days of having this credit card. So that's a pretty solid spend bonus all in all. That's going to be 10% off basically on the first $7,500 that you spend. Then on top of that, you're also going to be receiving some other benefits as well with this credit card. So starting out, there's not going to be any rewards limit. So again, your top two categories that you spend on are going to be adjusted automatically each month based on your spending, and you're going to be earning 2% cash back once again automatically in those top two spending categories. Then on top of that, you can also track your spending. So you can get a tool called Spend Analysis, which is exclusive to US Bank customers. And then finally, you're also going to be receiving your employee cards for free, and you can customize where, when, and how their cards can be used with Visa Spend Clarity. So perhaps you may only want one employee to spend like $100 per month, but you might have another employee that you allow to spend up to $1,000 per month. Well, you can customize exactly when, where, and how they use their credit cards, and you get these cards for free 100%. So now that we went over the main features of this card at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course that's also super important as well. So starting out, your purchase APR is going to be anywhere between 21.24 to 26.24% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as balance transfers go, your balance transfer APR starting out is also, just like your purchases, going to be anywhere between 21.24 to 26.24% based on your credit worthiness. So obviously it's not going to make too much sense to do a balance transfer, at least starting out with this credit card, given the fact that you're not offered like a promotional APR of like 0%. Now later down the line, they might offer you a promotional APR or something like that, but starting out at least with this credit card, once again, your interest rate is going to fall anywhere between 21.24 up to 26.24%. Then as far as cash advances go, on this channel, we usually recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This, of course, should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually with them, you have a very high interest rate, plus you have to pay a lot of fees as well. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance with this card, just know that your APR on them them is going to be a whopping 29.99%, plus a lot of fees as well, which we are going to go ahead and dive into right now. So as far as the fees go, starting out on the cash advances, your fee is either going to be $10 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever happens to be greater, so it can definitely rack up there. Then as far as the balance transfer goes, even though you're not going to be receiving a 0% introductory APR starting out, which really wouldn't make it too worth it to do a balance transfer, at least in my opinion. If later down the line they do offer you a 0% promotional offer for, let's say, like 12, 15, or 18 months, and you currently have another credit card where you're paying a lot of interest on that one on a month-to-month basis, and you decide to transfer the balance from that card over to this card and have that 0% interest rate for like 12 to 18 months. It's not going to be completely free though. There are going to be some fees associated with that transfer. The balance transfer fees with this credit card is going to be $5 minimum, or 5%. That's going to be the fee if you complete it with this application. However, if you do not do your balance transfer until after your application is completed, at that point in time, after the fact, your balance transfer at that point in time is either going to be $5 or 3%, whichever happens to be greater. Then as far as foreign transaction fees go, with this credit card, fortunately, there are no foreign transaction fees. That's a huge perk, because unfortunately, with a lot of other credit cards out there, you do have to pay a foreign transaction fee of anywhere between 3 to 5%. So that's definitely a pretty good benefit with this credit card if you do happen to travel internationally. It is a credit card you can take with you and continue to use, and you will not be charged anything extra, at least by US Bank or Visa. The restaurant or merchant might charge you something extra for using a card, but you will not be charged anything extra by the card issuer. Then as far as late or return payments go, with this credit card, you are going to have a fee of $39 for any late or return payments. Now, if you happen to pay late for the first time, maybe even a second time, you could always try calling into US Bank to see if they will waive that fee for a first or even second time convenience. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Just kind of comes down to their policy and whether or not their system allows them to. But you might want to set up auto pay or mark your calendars or do whatever you have to do. Just do what works best for you. Make sure that you are paying on time. That way you can avoid paying that late payment fee of $39. And then as far as an annual fee goes with this credit card, starting out the first year, there are no annual fees. That's a pretty good benefit. However, one thing that you should know is that starting on the second year and moving forward, you are going to have an annual fee at that point in time of $95. So that's something you'll definitely have to keep in mind. So now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the best things about this credit card and the worst things about this credit card. So starting out, the pros. The pro is the fact you're going to be earning 2% cash back automatically in your top 2 spending categories. So you can definitely rack up quite a bit of cash back with this credit card. Then you're also going to have the ability to earn a $750 spend bonus if once again you're able to spend at least $7,500 within the first 120 days of having this credit card. So you can definitely earn a lot of cash back, plus a spend bonus as well. And then finally, you're also not going to have any foreign transaction fees. So if you happen to travel abroad, this is a credit card you can take with you. And then also you're not going to have an annual fee. Once again, no annual fee for the first year only. Now, as far as the drawbacks go, even though you are going to have no annual fee for the first year, starting in the second year, you are going to have an annual fee of $95. So starting in the second year, you're really going to have to sit down and evaluate, like, are you getting enough benefits back in return to make paying $95 for this card every single year worthwhile? That's going to be completely your decision. And then finally, another drawback of this credit card is the fact that you're not going to have like an introductory APR or introductory balance transfer. With other credit cards out there, they might be offering like an introductory purchase APR of 0% for 12, 15, or 18 months. Or they might have like an introductory APR on your balance transfers of 12, 15, or 18 months. With this credit card, starting out at least, you're not going to have an introductory APR, so that's a drawback. And then finally, you're also not going to be receiving any special annual credits like QuickBooks or on travel, Uber, restaurants, etc. So you're not going to have any credits to really offset that annual fee in the second year moving forward. So once again, you're really going to have to sit down and evaluate whether or not paying $95 for this credit card is going to be worth it. Are you going to be getting at least $95 back in value starting the second year to make having this credit card worth it for you? That's going to be the main question you have to ask yourself. But that's all we have for this review. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate it if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.